Hi everyone, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take you through how you can host your own large language model and make an API call to it. So in the same way you make an API call to OpenAI and you get a response, so you're asking a question, you get a response, you can host your own completely self-contained large language model and do the same to it. So a bit of background about how this is possible. So you've got proprietary large language models like OpenAI, Anthropic, and then you've got open source large language models, a lot of which are built off the Meta Llama foundation model that was released by Meta. So essentially, those models, you can download them and they're a completely self-contained entity that can be used and hosted with all of the weights which give it the intelligence of how to respond and to requests. And you can actually take that and host it in the same way that you would host something on Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud. And I'm going to take you through how to do that. So a couple of prerequisites for what you'll need in order to do this and test this. That first screen I was on is Google Colab. So this is where we'll run our query to the model, essentially, and it will just make the API call in here. So you need a free Google Colab account, and you will need a runpod.io account. And this is where you actually host the model. So if we go into runpod.io, once you've signed up and set up, you'll come into here. And what you're seeing here is a fairly confusing screen, but all it is different chips that you can hire, and you can hire them on demand. So it's actually $4.69 per hour to hire this and host your model when it's been used. So there is a cost associated with doing this, but you do that within here. So what we're going to do first is actually deploy one of these. So essentially I'm picking a bit of a beast here because I want it to be quick when we test it, but you wouldn't have to necessarily use that. And what we want to do is go to templates, and we're picking this particular template here by the bloke who's done loads of work in the LLM community, fantastic sort of contribution, and he's created a template which makes it mega easy to actually get these large language models, open source models set up on runpod. So let's do that, and then let's pick a chip to hire. Essentially, we've got that, and then we go continue and deploy. So that's deploying that now. It'll take a couple of minutes. Here you can see it's just setting up. Okay, great, that's now done. So what we need to do now is actually connect to this chip, essentially, to this NVIDIA chip. And this UI is now running on that chip. And this UI is now available for you to actually download and load a model onto this NVIDIA chip that you've hired. So how do we do that? We go to the model section, and we're going to want to find a model to actually download onto here. And you can do that by going to Hugging Face. I'm not actually going to use that particular model because there's something that works really quickly out of the box. So this one here, apparently a great model, especially for its size. So we're going to copy that here and paste that into this section and download. This will take you a little bit of time, so I'm going to pause and then come back to you. Okay, great, that's now done. What you want to do next is refresh and select that model and then load that model. So we're now loading that that model onto the NVIDIA chip so it's going to be accessible by us in terms of to use within this user interface and also via API. There's also a number of other settings which I'm not certain about what everything means here. On certain models, you would need to take a look at the description, see if there's anything in terms of setup. The bloke again has a lot of information regarding that. I did run another model and actually had to increase the GPU memory because some of these models are made specifically for running on GPU and the quantized versions. But for this purpose, it didn't matter for this particular model. It's absolutely fine. I'm using a really powerful chip as well, actually, to be fair. But you can find these settings, and if your model's running super slow, it might be that you need to allocate more to the GPU, but that's for another video. Okay, so that's loaded. So let's just go and test it now. So pretty amazing, really. That is your model, your own hosted model working, and I can chat to it in this user interface. But we want to just go to the next stage and actually make an API call to that so you could use it in your own applications or more complex tasks. So that is cool. Right, so next bit is API call. If we go back to this section, the pods and connect, what you want to do is go connect to HTTP port 5000. You won't see this on my video, but that's actually just opened another tab and basically given us this endpoint. So I've copied that from the URL. And that is the endpoint to actually communicate with our new large language model now. So if I then go back into my Google Colab, which I'll share this in the description so you've got a template, and actually change the endpoint. So you need that section there. And if I make a call to this now, the prompt is what is the distance from London to Paris, and that's your response, and that's it. Your own hosted large language model. So that's how easy it is with something like runpod. Any questions, comments, please just put them into the YouTube video comment section and I'll come back on anything if I can assist. Thank you. Bye-bye.